Okay guys, so what I want to do here is try to explain this whole microliter loop number of colonies thing that I think has been somewhat confusing to people. So in the micro lab, we often use what we call calibrated loops in order to streak out our urine cultures. And what using these loops does is it gives us an idea or an estimate of the quantity of bacteria that come from every certain volume of urine that we use. So essentially what I would do, I would take one of these loops, whether it's this 1 microliter little blue guy or 10 microliter yellow guy right here, dip it into the urine, and then use it to streak out my culture plates. And what that does is it spreads out the volume of urine that was found in that loop across the plate. Then what grows on the plate is indicative of how much was essentially in that sample, or in the 10 microliters here, or 1 microliter on this loop. However, it's not so simple, or if we were to report out a result to the doctor like, hey, there were 6 colony forming units in every 10 microliters of urine, it doesn't mean a whole lot. So what we do is we try to correct for that and report out to the doctor the number of colony forming units per milliliter. That's embarrassing. Sorry, didn't turn my phone off. Anyway, I told you this would be herky-gurky, so deal with it. So what I'm doing is I'm converting from the microliter loop to a number of colony forming units per milliliter. So if I'm using a 10 microliter loop, essentially that's the same as a 0.01 milliliter loop. So every colony forming unit, or every organism that grows from me streaking it out with this loop, is representative of 100 colony forming units. Likewise, if I use the smaller loop, that's only 0.001 milliliters, every one colony that grows represents 1,000 colony forming units per milliliter. So when I give you a problem like this on the test that says, hey, this person has 44 large gray mucoid colonies and 4 small white smooth colonies. Those are just microbiology terminology. You don't need to get too hung up on that. What I would focus on is this 1 and 2 and the 1 and 2 that are located down here at the bottom. You can use that to say, okay, number 1, 44 large gray mucoid colonies. That's probably about what this looks like if these were all the same. So I say, hey, you struck this out with a 1 microliter loop, and you're therefore going to say, okay, for every 44 colonies that grew on my plate, that's representative of, or for each one that grew on my plate, that's representative of 1,000 colony forming units per milliliter. So if there are 44 total, then that's 44,000 colony forming units of this enteric gram-negative rod, which is what grows up looking like a large gray mucoid colony. Similarly, if I had 4 small white smooth guys, those are more typically the gram-positive cocci. Each of those represents 1,000, so my final report would be 4,000 colony-forming units per milliliter of the gram-positive cocci. And you can go ahead and just abbreviate colony-forming units as CFU per milliliter. Hopefully that makes sense.